Well, I don't think we can miss you. We still find you everywhere, including every Labor Day with the Jerry Lewis MDA Telethon. How did you get involved with Jerry in the telethon?
Well, Jerry was the host for a week on the Tonight Show. Johnny took a week off, and Jerry filled in for him. And Jerry was like a major movie star, a major nightclub performer, and so he was like a big star in my book. And the first night he asked me to have dinner with him, which was quite unusual. We had dinner. We had a great time. So every night that week we had dinner together. And finally, the last night, he said, "Ed, I'm doing this telethon this weekend." And it was only in the New York area at that time. He said, "Would you come over and help me?" And I said, "Yeah." The minute I got on the screen, typically Lewis, I sat down, and there was then like a little setup like the Tonight Show.
Right.
There was a desk and a chair, and I sat down, and Lewis says, "I got to go to the bathroom," and left. Left me there. So, typical Lewis, I learned later that's the kind of stuff he does. So I look around, I'm sitting there, and somebody finished the act, so I look for the next performer. I introduced them. I said, "Well, here they are, the great McKenzie brothers," whatever it was. So I look over after about 10 or 15 minutes, and there's Lewis watching me with his arm folded in the wings, like waving me on. You're doing a good job. Keep going. And I'm telling you, I said, when he got back, I said, "What was that all about?" He said, "I just wanted to see how you'd handle it. Will you do some more with me next year?" So the next year I did about 8 hours with him. And he finally said, "Why don't you do the whole thing with me?" I said, "I will. You never asked me." So that was 32 years ago.
And one more thing with the telethon. You were in probably one of the biggest secrets, probably bigger than anything the Pentagon ever held, the night Frank brought Dean on the telethon.
Yeah, I was with Frank Sinatra one night. We were out at a party, and he said, "You know what I want to do, Ed?" He said, "I want to sneak Dean Martin onto the telethon this year. How do I do it?" I said, "Easy." I said, "I'll work it out with Jilly, and you just bring him into my trailer." I had my own separate trailer, apart from where Jerry Lewis was. I said, "We'll bring him in there, and at a certain moment, you'll call him out." And that was one of the great moments in television when Frank said, "I brought somebody with me," and out came Dean Martin. Of course, they hadn't even spoken to each other for several years. And Dean Martin, what a great line. He looked at Jerry and said, "So, what have you been doing?"